자, 우리나라 영어신문 3개를 간략하게 읽습니다. Bilateral concession needed for post-meeting. The lead-up to the meeting between President Yoon and the Democratic Party leader Lee is tumultuous. Given the standoff between Yoon and Lee over the past 2 years, it would be unusual if their representatives could smoothly prepare for their first face-to-face meeting since Yoon got elected as president 2 years ago. The two leaders still have a deep antipathy toward the other. Nevertheless, both leaders must have an open-minded meeting in order to set the foundation for co-governance in the next National Assembly. After the PPP's crushing defeat in the April 10 parliamentary election, first of all, the DP must refrain from arrogant behavior after being intoxicated by its landslide election victory. For a successful meeting, both sides must find agendas as they can agree to rather than sticking with a political battle. A number of livelihood bills are waiting for deliberation by the two parties. If they can find a breakthrough in the medical crisis from doctors' walkout to protest the government's unilateral push to increase medical school enrollment, it will certainly help resolve the meltdown. Voters gave overwhelming support to the DP, but the support stopped short of allowing the opposition to do whatever it wants. An investment-friendly environment comes first. Overly rigid regulation, often unfound elsewhere in the world, are hamstringing Korea from ascending to an Asia-Pacific business hub. A forum hosted by the American Chamber of Commerce AmCham in Korea on Tuesday to deal with the local business environment emphasized the need for the government to build a predictable business environment if it wants to raise investment appeal for the country. Earlier in the year, AmCham Korea sent its proposal for a roadmap to promote Korea to President Yoon through its Asia-Pacific Regional Headquarters report. Rising fees overload addicted platform consumers. Young people look for loopholes, both legal and illicit, to cut costs. It is a burden to think I have to pay over 500,000 won a year for subscription services, but I don't know how to cut back on the cost, as I am already so used to the convenience of their service. Lee, a 35-year-old office worker who asked to be called by a pseudonym, is addicted to online platforms like Netflix and YouTube during a long commute to and from work, like many other Korean office workers. KG's new solution, mix and match. Company build EVs, petrol cars on single assembly line. KG Mobility's Lexton SUVs and Taurus EVs are now being made side by side at a manufacturing factory in Pyeongtaek, Gyeonggi. The situation is unique as the Lexton is a gasoline-powered SUV, while the Taurus is a pure EV that uses a completely different power supply and requires a different body structure. U.S. election outcome, Warner-packed Seoul-Washington alliance envoy. The one thing is clear. The level of the Korea-U.S. alliance is incredibly strong, unmatched compared to previous times. Korea brushes off concerns that potential return of Trump would undermine bilateral ties. The comments came as interest is growing regarding the looming U.S. presidential election rematch between President Joe Biden and his predecessor, Donald Trump, slated for November. We aren't going anywhere, TikTok CEO. After bill passed to pull out TikTok from U.S., CEO expect to defeat the restriction. TikTok's chief executive said on Wednesday the social media company expects to win a legal challenge to block the legislation signed into law by President Joe Biden that he said would ban his popular short video app used by 170 million Americans. Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere, CEO So Ji-Chu said in a video posted moments after Biden signed the bill that gives China-based ByteDance 270 days to divest TikTok's U.S. asset or face a ban. The facts and the Constitution are on our side, and we expect to prevail again. Baby boomers' childhood captured in old photos also urges policymakers to learn from 1960s baby boom. Families with 4 or 5 children were common at that time. Defenseless against NK hackers. Assembly should immediately pass cybersecurity bills, but the bills have remained unlegislated for more than 4 years amid partisan bickering. Israel's widening war. The Israeli war against Hamas goes far beyond Gaza, as the split of protest in the U.S. goes far beyond university campuses. Cries of anti-Semitism, hostility, not just against Israel, but against Jews in general, permeate the discourse. Street dining kebab. These restaurants emerged to cater to the need of students in Noryang-jin, where aspiring people gathered to prepare for employment and exam. Districted from the upon demand of students seeking to quickly fill their stomach during their lunch break at a low cost. As high inflation tightens our budget and the soaring prices show no signs of abating, the street becomes an affordable culinary adventure with a diverse array of food options available at pocket-friendly prices. It's a decision worth considering. Make sure you come down and see for yourself. SCOTUS, squatters and public camping. Of the 653,000 people who experience homelessness in the United States, 41% live in the 9 westernmost states, according to the most recent federal survey. This includes the 5 states with the highest rate of unsheltered people. There are many reasons for this, from parents of poverty and drug addiction to the benign weather in California, 68% of whose 181,000 homeless people were unsheltered, more than any other state. A little known but crucial factor, however, is that all these states are under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, whose unique legal doctrine has effectively barred most enforcement of local public camping bans. Blinken urges fair treatment for U.S. firms, narrowing gaps in trade, Russia issues not expected. U.S. rushes among key military supplies to Ukraine. The United States on Wednesday rushed to send ammunition, weapons, and other war supplies to Ukraine after President Joe Biden signed a much-delayed bill to support the country as it struggled to hold back Russian advances. Zendaya, the O'Connor and faced on steamy love triangle of challenges. How sexy can a qualifying tennis tournament in New Rochelle, New York be when the on-court drama involves Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Feist? The answer turns out to be quite a bit more than your average USTA singles match in Luca Guadagnino's Challengers. The film, directed by G. from a script by playwright Justin, may have the appearance of a sports movie. How Korea's World Scout Jamboree became a global fiasco. This exacerbated the existing event organization challenges and caused a number of structural and coordination complications, the report read. Use cyber gambling software. 1 in 3 offenders are teens. emperor penguins perish as ice melted study. The result is high, if not total, levels of mortality. Korea enters clear growth path as first quarter growth hit 2-year high. South Korea's economy expanded at the fastest clip in more than 2 years in the first quarter as private spending and exports picked up, the central bank said Thursday. South Korea-U.S. alliance won't be swayed by U.S. election outcome, envoy. The fact that there's a possibility of discussion hasn't changed much from a year ago, so we'll explore ways to advance that discussion further. Medical Reform Committee kicks off despite the boycott from doctors. Committee to discuss medical reform, not student quota. Having fun beyond the party scene. I've always disliked house parties. During the first ones I'd been invited to, I had to leave early due to the loud music, vulgar dancing, and drunk classmates, an environment that would only make me feel anxious, disgusted, and sick. I thought this feeling would wear off, and I'd eventually be able to integrate and have fun just like everyone else. However, after attending a couple more, I came to the realization that it's just not my thing and that I like to have fun in other ways. So I began declining all house party invite with a silly excuse or anything that I could come up with. Because of that, I earned the reputation of being a boring and wearisome person, and that I hated everybody and didn't want to spend time with them, which is not true. My high school days are over, and I'm about to begin university. I know I'll be invited to parties in the coming months. What would be a more assertive and competent way to decline all these invites? Boring student in South America. Embrace what makes you comfortable. A simple no thanks. That's not really my scene. It's honest and assertive. Suggest an alternative way to hang out that aligns with your interest. This shows you are open to socializing on your terms and help others understand your preference without having to make excuses or get caught up in a lie. Your university years can be a fresh start to find like-minded friends who respect your idea of fun. When I was in college, I dated someone for a year. It was great, and I respected and loved her in every way. She went on to complete her studies, and I started working. We then went our separate ways, the reason being to give her more space to study and for me to get settled in my career. When I finally felt ready to settle, I tried to contact her again. I called her number I'd saved to get in touch with her. Her sister gave me her contact details. When I called, her husband answered. I took it like a man and moved on. I thought I had a relationship after that, but it seems I never got over it because I can't get her out of my mind even at 57. I never got married and I can't seem to find the right person. I know this sounds unfair, but no one else matches up to her. How do I get out of this hole? I can't settle for the relationship just to ease the pain and the loneliness. I prefer having female friends, but nothing serious until I meet the message right. I hope. I think too much about her during my alone time, which is quite frequent. I hope she's happily married, and I don't think I yearn to rekindle with her. Is there perhaps another deep-seated reason for my predicament? Crazy in love. Dear crazy in love, you are dealing with unresolved feelings and idealizing a past relationship, which is quite common, especially after one as impactful as yours. The fact that no one seems to measure up to this woman, though, indicates that you are comparing all of your more recent relationship to an idealized version of her, rather than seeing each new person for their unique qualities, which in turn create a barrier to forming new meaningful connection. Reflect on what you truly miss about that relationship. Is it the companionship, shared interest, or simply the way you felt about yourself at the time? A good therapist can help you figure out why you are holding on to this history and develop strategies to open your heart to new love. Remember, it's about finding someone who fits with the person you are now, not who you were. Challenge yourself, figure out the one you want, and stop letting other people interfere. Your open-mindedness can harvest all sorts of ideas and turn them into something that suits your needs and improve your life. Stop dreaming and start doing. Socializing, networking, and expanding interest will energize you. Let your imagination take over, and you'll figure out a fulfilling way to use your assets and attributes. A connection you make will lead to a positive lifestyle change. Refresh, unwind away from the tropical heat. Traveling overseas brings unusual excitement for holiday makers, driving them to explore new things, even if it means spending a lot of energy and effort. After days jam-packed with activities and new experiences in a foreign land, taking a much-needed break is just as important.